Hey and welcome everyone, it's Egwin from Beyond Systems. Today I'm going to share another exercise of the core series with you. This one is specifically designed to work with core function, with the rectus abdominis, with the obliques, also with the transverse abdominis, and also how to connect those quote-unquote core muscles, those direct core muscles, with my intercostal muscles and actually with the functions of my upper body a little bit in a lying down position. Here is what it looks like. You're gonna bring yourself into a lying down position. The legs are elevated like this. Open the arms out towards the side just a tiny little bit, so maybe at 30 degrees out towards the side, and place the palms down towards the ground. Now, roll your knees up towards your chest. And from here, what we're gonna do is basically we're gonna place the hip, the pelvic ring, to the left, and we're gonna place the pelvic ring to the right. So here is how it looks like. So this is basically the exercise. Now let me explain real quick what we are doing. As you can see, I'm lifting my pelvis up, then I'm laterally tilting the spine and I place the pelvis back on the ground. It's very important that there is not a rolling action involved too much. So what am I talking about? When I lie down like this, see, I could do this exercise like this. See, now there is basically a lot of rolling motion involved, which is what I try to avoid actually. Why? Because with this rolling motion, with our legs up, I have a lot of leather basically putting pressure on the lumbar spine if I rotate, or the conjunction between the lumbar spine and the thoracic spine. That's not what I try to do. I literally just use my rectus abdominis and my oblique muscles to lift the hip up. Then I laterally flex the spine. So literally just this flexion, this sideways flexion, so this time in a lying down position. And then I place the hip back down on the ground. Watch me again. So from here, I roll up, I turn to the side and I place down. I roll up, I turn to the side, I place down. Up and place, up and place. Now this is exactly the action where we use our rectus to pull up. We use the transverse abdominis muscle to brace the rectus shaft towards the inside, so to stabilize the core, and then we use our obliques to actually turn the hip towards the side. Our hip flexors, as well as our quadratus lumborum, they will also have a little bit of a give as well, so they will work with this lateral flexion, they will support it. That's the basic movement. Now, as for the upper body, it really depends on how far you roll up. You can do this exercise in a very, very minimalistic way, so just lying down, bringing the arms down, lifting literally just the pelvic ring. See, the motion is very, very small right now, and I'm literally just lifting the hip about this much off the ground. However, I can go much further as a possible progression. So from here, I can roll my hip up properly and make sure that it's not just my pelvic ring, but it's also the whole rest of the lumbar spine all the way up, even to the base of the thoracic spine that rolls off the ground before I laterally flex. When I do this, I engage more of my intercostal muscles as well, and I learn how to stabilize a core activation towards my upper body. This is an incredibly interesting exercise when you pay attention to what you have to engage and how you have to engage it. As for the arms, there are two possible ways to use the arms. Actually, three. One is not to use them at all and really try to do this whole movement basically just out of your core position, which basically depends on your capacity of having the upper body rest down while you lift up the pelvic ring. This depends on your body proportions, if your upper body, your shoulders and chest area is heavy enough to be a counterbalance. Other than that, there is two ways to use the arms. One way, having them down here, and to support the movement, actively press the arms down into the ground. This actively pressing the arms down into the ground will engage your latissimus dorsi muscle and will help you in lifting the hip up even higher when you shift. I suggest you do that not as the primary version. Use the hands just as much as is needed to create this counterbalance, but other than that, really just try to work with the core to start with, so that you get an understanding of how the muscular chains of your abdomen connect to the muscular chains of your chest. Then in the second stage, actively use the arms, use pressing the arms down into the ground to actually lift the pelvic ring. And then the third version is you lift the arms up above your head. They do not lie on the ground. They are just slightly engaged. You're in a minimalistic hollow body position. Again, your knees go into the chest and you do the whole movement from here. Now, obviously, your arms add to the counterweight of your upper body because they extend it overhead. Plus, now you'll not only connect the muscular chains of your abdomen to your thoracic area, but also to your arms, which especially if you are, for instance, in aerial acrobatics or doing some sort of pull-up stuff and so on, would be a really nice addition to that. Even if you are not in acrobatics, it's really nice because it gives you an immensely deep understanding of how this frontal line actually works. All right, so that's the exercise for today. Let me know how it goes. I would go for probably 10 or 20 repetitions from left side to the right, then give it a rest, and then roll again. So this is a nice exercise. If you have questions, leave them down in the comment box. If you want to see more of the core series and you haven't tuned into the channel yet, check it out on my channel. Click the subscribe button if you want to stay up to date with more information. And thanks for watching. Have a wonderful time. Bye.